All right, welcome back. It is the day after the first half clinching, and we're with the manager of the Birmingham Barons, Julio Vinas. Day after. Is it sunk in yet? Is it a neat feeling? What do you think?
Oh, yeah, it's a great feeling. I mean, I've always said it's a special group of guys, and it's great that they work so hard and they have something to show for it at the end. And yesterday the celebration was real nice. And like I told them, I said, hey, let's win the second half as well, so we can celebrate again and then win the championship. So, we're going to try and take it day by day like we've been doing, game by game, and continue to put victories on our side, and hopefully win the second half as well.
As I look at your clean-shaven face, it reminds me you came here with a goatee, and ever since you got rid of that goatee, I don't think the team has lost a game. Maybe you should have broke camp, left Arizona like this.
Oh, we lost about 2 or 3 in a row, and I told the guys I'm putting on a new game face, and sure enough, it went. And, yeah, I mean, if you want to call it a coincidence or not, but, yeah, we did start playing good again. So, I guess I got to stay clean-shaven until we lose 2 or 3, and then I'll grow another one.
There was a time in the first half. The team took over in late April. First place did not relinquish that. And there was that 11-game winning streak. Did that 11-game winning streak, did that distinguish, did that separate the Barons from the rest of the pack?
Absolutely. When we got on that hot streak right there, and we gained a lot of distance, especially we had Tennessee on our tail, and we played them 5 games and took 4 or 5 from them. So that really gave us some separation amongst all the rest of the teams. So yeah, definitely that streak that we had really put us in a good situation. Looking
at the numbers over the last couple of weeks, and everybody who wants to study, they can figure out the prospects, the names, and this, that, or the other, and those are easy. One stat that jumped out at me is your bullpen went 20 for 22 in the first half in stats. That's almost incredulous, almost unbelievable. And a guy that influenced both of us, Terry Francona, told me what separates the good managers from the great managers, guys that handle the bullpen. That's got to be a big stat for you. 20 out of 22 closing games.
Yeah, our bullpen's been solid. They really have. Every time we've given a different guy the ball, at night, and it's, there's a hero every night. One day it'll be Thompson, the next day it's Webb, the next day it's Vance. So it's been really, really good to have those options that we've been having, and they come out and get it done. And I've always said, a manager's only as good as his players, and, these players right now are making all the whole staff look really good.
Julio, when you take a look at the lineup again, a lot of names, Baseball America talks about this one, that one, and this one, but there's one guy, again, always has to be labeled as the unsung hero, whether it's next year, 3 years from now, or 3 years ago, 2 years ago, maybe 10 years ago. Nick McCulley's name jumps right off the pages. I don't think anybody penciled him in 6-1 with an ERA below 3. How did he make it happen?
Yeah, I mean, he's a bulldog. He gets on the mound and he gives you everything he's got, and when you have guys that have that type of heart and there's ability there, they're pretty unstoppable. He's focused on his role and whatever it is that he needs to accomplish that night. And when he comes out, he's ready to go.
When you take a look at the offense, they scored in bunches. Right now, still leading the league in runs, I think tied for first in batting average. Bunches. There wasn't a 2 and a 3. There was a 5 and a 6 and a 7. There's an old statement in baseball that hitting is contagious. Gary Ward did a pretty good job with these guys also. So tell me about the hitting, how they got to these big numbers, these crooked digits, and the work that Gary put in.
Oh, Wardo's done a great job with them. Wardo has been around a long time. He's got a lot of knowledge. And, I was a hitting coordinator at one time, too, earlier in my career. And we sit around and talk about hitting, and he's got it down. He knows the right things to say to these guys and when to say it. And the best thing about it is that they respond when he says it. So, he's done a great job. And, these guys have come out and have paid attention. You hear the guys talking about the pitchers that they faced already, and everyone's spreads the word on what that pitcher's strengths and weaknesses are. And, when you start seeing teams that do that, it's a special group of guys, and it's, it's not an individualized thing now. Now it's a team concept, and that's what we're trying to get across to these players.
Your chemistry with Britt Burns, who you had not had the chance to work with. This is Britt's first time ever with the Chicago White Sox, but your chemistry seems to be outstanding with him, and again, we give him credit. Team's been a top 5 all year in ERA, and we already mentioned their bullpen numbers. So tell me about you and him. How do you get on the same page with Britt?
Burnsy's great. I mean, he's been around a long time as well, and he's got all the right things to say too. And before every game, we'll sit down and go over our bullpen, and basically, have it set up already, just how we're going to use it. And sometimes we got to change it, obviously, but for the most part, we already have a pre-game plan on how we're going to use our staff that day, because there's certain guys that have to throw on certain days with an X amount of days of rest. So, we always plan that right before the game. And like I said, sometimes we'll have to change that. But for the most part, we're set up and going to the game what we're going to do.
I asked you in the locker room yesterday. You already told the media, but I got to ask you again now for our new forum. You've got the toughest job in minor league baseball because you have 75 games that technically don't mean a whole lot. This team can go 0-75. They won't. And they already have a guaranteed ticket to the postseason. How do you tell our new audience how you're going to motivate the 25 guys in that locker room?
Well, you know what? These guys are pros, and they go about it the right way. They go about their business the right way. And I know they're not going to throw in the towel just because we're already in the playoffs. And I think there's enough character and ego on this team that we're going to want to win the second half. We're not going to just go out there and just play, half of our ability. I think these guys are going to go out and, we talked about, we won the first half. Let's win the second half too. Let's have fun. Let's continue to have fun. And like anything else, when we win, everything comes into, just falls into place. And, it's a lot funner when coming to the ballpark when we're winning.
Mama and little Julio doing fine?
They're doing great. He's getting big. He's like Papa now. He's got a belly on him already.
He's got big mitts on him as well.
Does, yeah.
I finally, did I tell you that I got to the Hall of Fame?
I did. Congratulations on that, man. I was there, and I was very, very happy for you. It's well-deserved. You've been doing this for a long time, and, we can only wish you the best because you're a class act.
They will be editing this feature out. Julio Vinas, it's a great story. He was our catcher here in the mid-'90s. He's back as the first-half champion manager with a lot of baseball left to go. Thanks a lot for joining us. We'll be back with more later on.